Hi, welcome to iEducator. This is Teacher Jeff. I'm an educator and an engineer by profession. And today we will discuss Chapter 4. And Chapter 4 is all about a system to meet customer needs. And in today's lesson, there are four key areas that I'm going to be highlighting. First, we will be discussing supply chain models. Second, we will be also tackling the Global Supply Chain Forum or the GSCF model. Third, we have Customer Relationship Model or the CRM. And finally, we have the Product Life Cycle Management or the PLCM. And in order for us to get started, let us discuss the first key area of our lesson, and that would be the supply chain models. Now, this chapter will take the information developed in Chapter 3 and transform it into an operational system to meet the identified needs and wants of the customer. The design process will be described for a typical supply chain with some variations noted for different supply chain requirements. As an introduction, we will briefly outline two of the most widely referenced supply chain models. First, we have the SCORE, SCOR, which stands for Supply Chains Operations References Model. And we also have the GSCF, or Global Supply Chain Forum model. Then, we will describe two major programs used as important components of supply chain systems, which are the CRM or the Customer Relations Management and the PLM or the Product Life Management. With that background, we will identify the characteristics of an effective supply chain system. So what do we mean by supply chain council then? If we say supply chain council or the SCC, it is an independent, non-for-profit global organization formulated the SCORE model as a process reference model to guide its corporation members in order to cope with the growing challenges associated with SCM. Now, the SCORE model spans from suppliers to customers, and helps address challenges faced by parties within the extended supply chain. Now, as you can see in figure 4.1, it illustrates the SCORE or the supply chain operations references model. As you can see in the figure, the SCORE model shown in figure 4.1 guides companies in executing 5 processes according to a series of SCM standards. Now try to take a look at the middle portion of the figure. Okay, as you can see, the 5 processes according to a series of SCM standards, we have planning, and second, we have sourcing, third, we have making, fourth, we have delivering, and fifth, we have returning. So this is according to Supply Chain Council 2013. Conversely, the SCORE model does not describe such related business practices of sales and marketing or demand generation, research and technology development, product development, and some elements of post-delivery customer support. The model assumes but does not explicitly address training, quality, information technology, and non-SCM administration. Now, each process dictates a definite set of SCM activities for a company to follow. Now, details about these activities within each process are listed in Table 4.1. Now, as you can see in Table 4.1, it shows the supply chain activities of 5 SCORE processes. So in the first column, you have there the SCORE processes. We have plan, source, make, deliver, and return. And we have also provided a definition of each process. Now, for example, for planning SCORE process, if we say planning, this refers to processes that balance aggregate demand and supply to develop a course of action best meets sourcing, production, and delivery requirements. So in planning stage, to plan ahead of time, making use of the forecasting technique in which it will allow you, or it will allow the company or the production manager maybe to be able to determine the aggregate demand and supply. And for sourcing, these refer to processes that produce goods and services to meet planned or actual demand. So in sourcing, this is where you source your raw materials. So as much as possible, you need to find suppliers who offer cheaper raw materials, but of high quality, of course. Okay, so this should be raw materials that are not substandards. Instead, this should be raw materials that are of high quality, but this is way more cheaper compared to other suppliers. And so in that case, the company would be able to save an amount of money. And also, in the making process, this refers to the processes that transform a product to a finished state to meet planned or actual demand. So in the making process, this is now the time in which the company would transform its raw materials into finished goods. And also we have delivering. Delivering refers to processes that provide finished goods and services to meet planned or actual demand, typically including order management, transportation management, and distribution management as well. So once you had already produced your final goods, so it is now time for these goods to be delivered to your final customers. And also, you have returning. So returning refers to processes associated with returning or receiving returned products for any reason. And these processes extend into post-delivery customer support. Now, in returning process, this refers to your after sales services. For example, is your warranty, okay? And another, you should have processes or established standards for the returning of the finished goods, which you delivered to your final customers. And it so happened that there is some defects or scratches maybe, okay, or may it be because the customer received the wrong color of the product. So there are actually a lot of reasons why customer return your product. All right, so these are the supply chain activities for 5 core processes. So the next key area that we're going to be discussing now, that would be the Global Supply Chain Forum Model, or the GSCF model. Now, according to GSCF model, this is according to Lambert et al. 1999, SCM is the integration of key business processes from end user through suppliers that provides products, services, and information that add value for customers and other stakeholders. Now, this model takes cross-functional and cross-business perspectives to examine the effectiveness of supply chain operations. So the GSCF model comprises 3 primary elements. First, we have the supply chain network structure, and the supply chain network structure consists of the network relationships among business partners across the supply chain. So this is your relationship of your business towards your supplier, because suppliers are considered your business partners in the supply chain network. And second, the supply chain business processes. So the supply chain business processes are the lifeblood to sustain these network relationships, okay? Now, take note that your production department is the lifeblood of your company, right? Because without the production department, there can never be marketing department, because you don't have a product to market. There can never be finance department. You don't have sales to compute, And there can never be an HR department because there's no need for you to hire any employees because you don't have a product to produce. So that is why the production department is considered as the heart of the organization. But in supply chain perspective, the supply chain business processes are considered to be as the lifeblood to sustain these networks relationship. Therefore, the supply chain business processes are the lifeblood to sustain these network relationships, because this further means that you need to have a coordination and cooperation with the other businesses along the network. Okay, and also we have the associated management component. This refers the relationship of the management towards its customers, investors, shareholders, and etc. So the GSCF model addresses 8 key business processes as follows. First, we have CRM. And second, we have customer service management. Third, we have demand management. Fourth, order fulfillment. Fifth, manufacturing flow management. Sixth, supplier relationship management, or SRM. Seventh, product development and commercialization. And finally, we have returns management. Now, in order for us to get started, let us discuss each of these one by one, starting with CRM. Now, if we say CRM, this stands for Customer Relations Management. This helps develop and maintain relationships with customers so that cross-functional customer teams can tailor product and service offerings to meet customer needs and wants. On the other hand, if we say customer service management, it establishes a one-stop contact center where information across functions and business is aggregated to service customers. That is why, if you can notice, there are a lot of BPO companies nowadays, or business process outsourcing or contact centers, because if you are a company and your business or the nature of your business is about providing service to the customers, and in that case, your customers are located globally. So you need to have a one-stop contact center where customers can dial a toll number, and so they will be routed to a customer representative for their inquiries, questions, or even customer complaints. Okay, so that is what we call customer service management. And also we have demand management. For demand management, it reduces demand variability and increase supply chain flexibility by balancing customers' requirements with supply chain capabilities. And also we have order fulfillment. For order fulfillment, it streamlines all supply chain activities from product design, customer requirements acquisition, production, and distribution to accepting return goods. And for manufacturing flow management, this is where the movement of products across the production units throughout the entire supply chain to improve manufacturing flexibility. And for supplier relations management, this is where the company should develop and maintain good relationships with networks of suppliers. And for product development and commercialization, it increases the speed in bringing new products to market via collaboration with suppliers and customers. And finally, returns management is about streamlining reverse logistics activities, including returns, recalls, and maintenance. So each of business process mentioned earlier is further composed of strategic and operational sub-processes where supply chain activities are actually performed. Now, these supply chain activities include the key elements of planning and control, organization structure, information flows, power structure, leadership, corporate culture, and risk or reward structures as well. Now, the SCORE and GSCF models have several commonalities. So what's their commonalities? First, both models use a multi-tier approach to create alignment between strategic planning and operational implementations. And second, both models adopt cross-functional and cross-company perspectives to create a linkage between business partners across the supply chain. Now, in spite of these two commonalities, the two models vary in four criteria. This is according to Lambert et al. 2005. So these are the scope, intra-company connectedness, intercompany connectedness, and drivers of value generation. Now, in order for us to better understand each of these criteria, let us discuss them one by one, starting with scope. So if we say scope, this refers to the extent to which the adapted model can support corporate strategy. And if we say intra-company connectedness, it refers to the degree of formal and informal contacts between employees of different functional departments. And if we say inter-company connectedness, it refers to the degree of collaboration between business partners across the supply chain. So it's just like B2B partnership or business to business partnership. And finally, we have drivers of value generation. So the drivers of value generation refer to approaches used to achieve supply chain excellence, such as reducing costs, increasing revenues, and improving asset efficiency. So as you can see in table 4.2, it summarizes the differences between the SCORE and GSCF models with respect to these four criteria. So as you can notice, the GSCF framework has advantages over the SCORE model in providing implications on improvement CRM functions. So the GSCF model is primarily based on the interconnectedness between CRM and SRM. So CRM is an important aspect to the continuous support of the execution of corporate and functional strategies in the GSCF model. Okay, so the next key area that we're going to be discussing, that would be customer relationship management, or CRM. Now, what is meant by CRM then? If we say CRM, it refers to business processes executed by a company with its business partners to service customers and sustain relationships with them. Now, CRM includes four categories of business processes. First, we have the customer contact process. What do we mean by this? Well, if we say customer contact process, take note that customers directly contact the company via accessible communication channels, including phone, email, instant message, fax, or even face-to-face meeting with a sales representative. So operational efficiency is an important performance measure in front office process. And another, we have back office process. So what do we mean by this? If we say back office process, it focuses on functional aspects of the business, including planning, billing, advertising, finance, accounting, and manufacturing as well. For example, suppose a number of customers bring a coupon to our retail and expect it to be honored during an event promotion period. Now, if the stock planning process is not accurate, then overstock or back order problems could occur to upset a customer's shopping experience. So these problems can result in a loss of customer goodwill and lower sales revenue. And another category of business process, we have the B2B or business to business relationship building process. If we say B2B relationship building process, here, customer relationships can also be extended to business partners, including the industry consortiums, trade associations, R&D centers, distributors, wholesalers, and retailers as well. Take note that maintaining a positive relationship with business customers is also indispensable to the success of the CRM, right? Now, sharing and exchanging transactional data between business partners' internal functions are critical to support the flow of goods and information in a successful supply chain. So when transactional data are received, they need to be analyzed and converted into useful information that is beneficial to supply chain partners. For example, a marketing campaign relies heavily on useful information such as market share and sales volume by regions, product categories, and promotion periods as well. And finally, the last category of business process under CRM, that would be marketing or sales data analysis. Now here, CRM implementations need to integrate business processes within and across companies. The success of CRM actually depends on the reliable delivery of not only marketing and sales activities, but also other business activities. An example of this is of that of Walmart's return policy. So according to Walmart's return policy, it says all merchandise purchased from Walmart.com may be returned either to a store or by mail within 90 days of receiving it, unless otherwise noted below. Additional guidelines are also noted below. So this is according to Walmart 2013. So in order to honor the return policy and streamline the reverse logistics, Walmart needs to integrate its return centers with distributors and suppliers. So only when these information or functions are integrated across the company can CRM be performed to satisfy customers. This being said, CRM must be implemented from an inter-organizational process perspective. So many process-oriented frameworks are available to examine SCM and are also applicable to examining CRM. So among all frameworks, the SCORE and the GSCF provide detailed guidelines to enable implementation. So if we say CRM, it is a marketing philosophy based on putting the customer first, meaning the collection and analysis of information designed for sales and marketing decision support as contrasted to enterprise resource planning information or ERP information is required to understand and support existing and potential customer needs. So it includes account management, catalog and order entry, payment processing, credits and adjustments, and other functions. This is according to Blackstone 2013. So you might be asking, when did CRM originate? So in order to answer that question, let us discuss the origins of CRM. So how exactly did CRM get started? So one driver was global competition, which forced many companies to become more customer-oriented as a means of securing a competitive advantage. So progressive business wanted to become customer-centric, meaning their full focus should be to the customers themselves. So many express this is as simply formalizing their event present mantra of caring for the customer. However, a number of managers viewed it as a chance to blend capabilities not heretofore available. So a host of information technologies made it possible to collect and analyze data about customers and then to translate that knowledge into meaningful marketing strategies. So what can CRM do then? Well, CRM programs can accomplish the following activities. First, CRM collects information about customers primarily from sales transactions, but also from a number of other touch points as well, such as complaints or inquiries. So eCRM or electronic CRM is actually a popular means of recording website contacts, searches, and even other non-sales activities. For example, the Amazon.com recommends books based on your previous searches and requests that you provide reviews of books that you have purchased. And another activity under CRM program that would be from the collected data, a CRM program organizes the customer base into segments or groups or similar customers. So here, what you do is you do customer segmentation. So the groups may be organized around maybe age, the income level of your customer, their location or geography, the books they have searched online, or whatever the marketing group deems useful. So therefore, the ultimate objective is to get to a regroup of an individual customer if that is practical. And third, the marketing organization designs a program to appeal to the groups described earlier. So here, while the primary emphasis of a CRM program is customer retention, marketers are not above designing sales programs that will attract new customers. As an example, Weiner 2001 describes several types of programs, including customer service, frequency or loyalty, customization, rewards, and even community building programs. And fourth, the programs designed to enhance the relationship with existing customers are implemented. Now, sometimes salespeople may feel they are asked to change from a hunt and kill mode to a tend the farm mode. This is according to Earn 2002. This terminology means that progress in these programs will be monitored closely and results will be measured as well. And finally, the CRM program develops a set of metrics to measure the results and to revise, modify, discontinue, and reverse the marketing initiatives that have been introduced. Okay, so what are the benefits of the CRM then? So the benefits of CRM first, the primary benefit of a CRM program is increased customer retention. So customer retention has greater value than customer acquisition. Therefore, businesses should expect to see improved financial results from their CRM program. And second, in addition to the tangible benefits, there are also intangible benefits. So the relationship with customers should be more open and effective, meaning to say, hopefully things will go smoothly between your company and your, let's say, suppliers or any other businesses along with the chain network. However, if there are incidents, then the closer relationship should help in their resolution. And the last benefit of CRM, internally, the need to develop cross-functional programs should increase collaboration among internal functions. This means that even without considering operations functions such as purchasing, production, distribution, and inventory management, there is still a need to get sales, marketing, and IT people more comfortable with one another. So Earn 2002 highlights the difficulty in communication between the emotion-driven sales force and the clinically binary-driven IT expert as difficult unless intelligently managed. As indicated by the SCORE and GSCF models, SCM is comprised of business processes across functions and business partners as well. Now, as one of the key business processes, CRM focuses on developing and managing relationships with internal and external customers. So CRM business processes consist of strategic and operational sub-processes as follows. So we have here strategic sub-processes, which includes review corporate and marketing strategy, identifying criteria for categorizing customers. We have provision or providing guidelines for the degree of differentiation in the product or service agreement or PSA. We also have developing a framework of metrics, and we also have developing guidelines for sharing process improvement benefits with customers. On the other hand, operational sub-processes, and this includes differentiating customers, preparing the account or segment management team, internally reviewing the accounts, identifying opportunities with the accounts, developing the PSA, implementing the PSA, and then measuring performance and generating profitability reports. Now, take note that CRM is a part of a demand chain solution to address challenges in attracting potential customers and creating customer loyalty. Now, demand chains address issues related to customer demand, including product information, the product itself, services related to purchase products, the product's ease of use and performance, the purchasing experience, and after sales report. After sales report, what I mean about this is when you offer warranty services to your customers. So that's what we call after sales support. Now, in order for us to better understand this, let me give you an example. So, for example, Dell offers business partners web-based services 24/7, 365 days a year. On the other hand, Amazon.com individualizes services for customers based on their shopping history. And also, FedEx and UPS allow their customers to track the status of their package. And finally, airlines provide real-time updates of flight schedule changes to the mobile devices of passengers. Now, the ability to address these issues can help companies gain a competitive advantage in the marketplace. And this being said, a comprehensive CRM solution is equipped with three primary areas of functions. First, we have operational. Second, we have collaborative. And third, we have analytical functions. If we say operational functions, it can automate the fundamental downstream supply chain processes, including the marketing department, the sales department, and the after-sales services. On the other hand, if we say collaborative CRM functions, it helps the entire organization efficiently and effectively communicate with internal and external customers across the supply chain. And finally, if we say analytical CRM functions, it provides solutions or insights on customers' behavior and perceptions of product features, price, and services as well. Now, business intelligence can be improved with the support of analytical CRM functions. Now, under CRM problems, take note that despite the benefits of CRM, there have been setbacks in its implementations as well. And one setback is that although many companies anticipated CRM as a strategic practice, some IT-enabled CRM projects have been limited in their strategic focus, meaning there are a number of reputable companies providing software and consulting services. However, a lack of strategic alignment and integration within the user company has caused many CRM projects to fail. So, due to organizational variations, CRM technologies need to complement with other technologies in order to help a company compete strategically. And on the other hand, another CRM problem or setback is that other users of CRM have not been ecstatic about their results. Many have failed to realize the perfect order status heralded by CRM proponents. So, a Meta Group study reported a 55% to 75% implementation failure rate, according to Chan 2005. Now, according to Gartner Group, 55% of all CRM or software solution projects did not produce results, according to Lambert 2006. So, in a survey of senior executives, 25% reported that these software tools failed to deliver profitable growth and, in many cases, damaged long-standing customer relationships. So, clearly, CRM has ways to go before its proposed benefits are fully realized. So, how have CRM programs not been more successful then? Well, it would be easy to blame the software vendors for overhyping their product, but that does not excuse the companies themselves as well that bought the software from doing their part. So, in a very readable book, Cunningham et al. Described 53 myths they attribute to customer loyalty programs. This is according to Cunningham et al. 2005. So these myths include a number of promises that have not been met satisfactorily in practice. First, we have one of the leading problems has been the myopic view of considering CRM as solely an IT technology and not a strategic process. So it is not enough to create a database of customers, no matter how cleverly designed it is. And number two, another limited scope perspective has been to consider CRM as just a marketing program. So while marketing is the driver, they need cross-functional support from the rest of the organizations as well. And third, sometimes businesses design the program around what they think they can do or their ability rather than around the needs of the customer. So what do I mean by this? So as a result, the business may become efficient at doing things that the customer does not care about or respond to. And number four, some companies fail to get widespread support within their organization for the CRM program. So here, sales personnel may not like the closer monitoring, finance managers may not agree with the deployment of resources, and operations managers may feel left out, and IT staff may resent the cavalier attitude toward their innovative systems design. And number five, companies may try to do too much too soon. So most researchers advocate a selective approach to the implementation of CRM. And number six, customers may be turned off instead of turned on because of the excessive attention they receive, while subtlety is not generally. And finally, there may be a lack of communication among interested parties. So another study examined the relationship among IT technology and infrastructure capabilities, which includes technology that underpins the availability, quality, and depth of customer information, and also human analytic-based capabilities, which refer to the diverse skills and experience of employees necessary to interpret and use CRM data effectively. And finally, business architecture and structural capabilities, which refer to the incentives and controls for employee behavior that support CRM program. So the study found that all three capabilities, not just technology alone, okay, are necessary for a successful CRM program. So the authors also concluded that these capabilities are not easy to acquire and maintain. So therefore, many companies do not have these capabilities, and this contributes to the lack of success for some CRM programs. So as they put it, CRM suffers when it is poorly understood, improperly applied, and incorrectly measured and managed. So the next key area that we're going to be discussing, that would be the product life cycle management, or the PLCM. Now, another program that provides a system framework for supply chain is what we call the PLCM, or product life cycle management program. So it is concerned with managing a product and its accompanying information throughout the life of the product. So what is PLM then? So PLM is a relatively new acronym in the management literature, and articles began appearing in 2000 and have steadily increased during the past few years. So product life management, Sussman 2002 defines PLM as the marketplace name for the comprehensive framework of technology and services that permits extended product teams inside and outside of an enterprise to collaboratively conceptualize, design, build, and manage products throughout their entire life cycle. So this definition pointed out two primary objectives of PLM. It is both a technology to manage information and a process to promote collaboration among departments within a single company or between separate companies. So how did PLM evolve then? Well, PLM started out as an extension of CAD, or computer-aided design, to include electronic data sharing capabilities among users, both internal and external to a company. Now, since these origins, PLM has grown rapidly to become a strategic initiative that parallels SCM as a global management concept. Another, CAD has been rather a well accepted technology for several decades. So it captures a vast amount of data among products and makes these data available to downstream participants in the product design and production processes as well. Now, CAM enabled product design to be connected with the production process and uses applications of computer numeric control or CNC to reduce product development times and production costs. And finally, CAD was also linked with CAI, which is the process of generating and testing engineering specifications on a computer workstation. So CAD is linked with PDM systems used to check bills of materials or BOM and product revisions. So as the amount of data about products accumulated, new computing and data transmissions capabilities made engineering data available in a variety of formats to downstream users, and therefore the concept of PLM was born. So what does PLM include? Well, as the name implies, PLM includes the use of product information not only during its research and design stage, okay, but also during its production, post-sale service, and recycling stages as well. So PLM life cycle information can include design, data, and material lists from suppliers and their suppliers. We also have BOM and their many derivatives and revisions. We have design for manufacturing input, revision history, notes, and source data. We also have marketing and sales input, cost accounting data, test and performance criteria, manufacturing process requirements as built-in or as built information rather, including quality assurance data and regulatory compliance confirmation and certification. And finally, it also includes service and use history. So PLM has three core components. We have authorizing, visualization, and business process support. So what's the difference between the three? If we say authorizing, it includes the mechanical, electrical, and software design aspects. On the other hand, if we say visualization, it lets users collaborate across a wide range of participants in real-time basis. And finally, if we say business process support provides a wide range of data about the product unit or batch during and after manufacturing that lead back to authorizing. So what does PLM not include then? Again, so there are things that PLM does not include. So one author lists the following phases of as within the scope of PLM. So we have requirements, portfolio management, planning, conceptual design, product engineering, manufacturing engineering, simulation validation, build and produce, test and quality, sales and distribution, in-service operation, maintenance and repair, and disposal and recycling. So these are the following phases or scopes of PLM. But the following are the items that PLM does not include, okay? So what are the things that are excluded under PLM then? So we have planning and execution of the strategies and tactics to maximize market presence. That's one, okay? This is one item that PLM does not include. And second, the commercial or transactional activities related to ordering, shipping, and fulfilling orders or payments, such as ERP. So it is not included as well under PLM. Third, the assigning of factory floor resources, managing material flows, task scheduling, line balancing, or equipment maintenance scheduling, such as MES. And finally, the automation of customer or prospect databases. So these following items are the items that are not included under PLM program. So for our purposes, we will exclude the information that deals with the actual sale and production of a product's flow within the supply chain, such as in sales and operations planning, production planning and scheduling, purchasing, and distribution. So this is a parallel information flow and like PLM under the umbrella of SCM. All right, I think that's a good place to stop. If you have questions, please let me know on the comment section below. And if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for our latest updates. Thank you.